Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken cave.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So I apologize about yesterday and today. I'm a tiny bit sick, really almost not even enough to mention. But that was kind of why I wasn't happy with my video yesterday and my build. And, you know, if my voice doesn't sound, 100%, which you guys expect from me right now. By the way, one quick thing about QuickCast. I will never not use QuickCast again, but one of the annoying things about QuickCast is it will sometimes change what is active on your right click if you spam buttons too much. And I really don't know why that is, but it's just kind of a feature you have to get used to. So as you know from yesterday, I made a budget Poison Nova, and the idea is I was going to use 3-piece. Again, budget for Poison Nova, okay, guys? So, put that into your pipes while you smoke it and watch this video, okay? Please do not think you can make budget Poison Nova work like actually budget. You're going to need skillers. Maybe with G-Bite and 3-piece or probably 3-piece Trangs, and then I don't know, like Venom Ward. Like, yeah, there probably is some way to make an actual budget build work. I don't know if it would be worth it. Like if you happen to find a good Venom Ward and then a few facets, maybe think about getting a G-Bite, and then you wouldn't need as many skillers. By the way, Topwook is working on the math for Modern Poison Nova, and he says that the numbers are worse until after skill level 31. So if you think you can just cheese with Pierce and Mastery, you can't. Now, is Pierce and Mastery still the best? Yeah, but, for the most part. But you're going to need some skill levels to bump up that damage so that the Mastery has something to buff, and then also that the Pierce actually has something to increase. So anyways, we made our budget Poison Nova video, and we did full set Sabazis, or Sazababi, I don't know how to pronounce it. But anyways, what was the problem with it? Why was I unhappy? Well, I ended up putting more points in the Blood Warp than I originally intended. And that's kind of because with the Holy Shock Merc, although his radius is very large, if you start to play very fast and start to damage mobs in front of you, you're only gonna benefit from that static shock if he's actually casting it on the mob before they take too much damage. One of the nice things about poison is that it ticks, so there's a little more room for you to work with instead of like Corpse Explosion where you could be casting it off screen. And anyways, it just kind of felt like to me that I had to Blood Warp more to make the Holy Shock work. Now, does that mean I think Holy Shock is bad? No. But do I think it's necessarily a good budget option? Depends on play style, and it definitely doesn't work with a Suzabi set. Now, would it work with Heavens? Yes. Would it work with a Gargoyle's Bite and like 2-piece? Somebody brought up you could run 2-piece Nauseas. Of course, you can run 2-piece Heavens. Again, I'm just trying to bring out that there's a lot of ways to get items that'll give you FCR and quality stats, and then you can get sockets in them to still kind of help your damage out. So, don't feel like you have to run full Trangs to make a budget Poison Nova work. In fact, there literally would be better options even probably for budget Poison Nova. But would full Trangs work? Sure. And would that be better than what I'm doing? Well, it'd be more damage, but it'd be way less fun. So I kind of went back into it and I said, what I want to do is not Blood Warp, keep the whole max life idea, because I like the idea of a Necromancer having, 2,100 health budget. And I'm actually running I'm running better small charms, but the grand charms are a little worse in the sense that I switched out a bunch for faster run walk. And I had to deal with my res a little bit more because I switched my amulet to a cat's eye, and that's going to give me some extra run walk. I switched my rings to BK rings, so I'm basically dropping some FCR. I'm going to be at the 48 FCR breakpoint, which kind of sucks, but if you're only casting Poison Nova and Blood Warping less, then 48 FCR isn't the worst. I actually think one of the biggest problems with this build is that I block too much, and there's kind of not a way around that. Like if somebody looks at this and goes, hey, I kind of want to make a Running Man style Poison Nova, Sazabi might not be the way to go. And in fact, again, you could just do D-Web. We're like budget Running Man Poison Nova, so let me caveat that again. Maybe even for budget, Sazabi isn't the solution because you're going to need to run a lot of decks, and then Train Shield also already has increased chance of blocking, so my chance to block is way too high. It's one of the reasons I ran Water Walks, and it's also another one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to continue with my max life idea in my last video, and then also for this idea. For this video is, I already have these items giving me a bunch of health, and I kind of have to block, and Water Walks are like the standard for a boot that gives you a ton of health. They really are good for that. There's no other differences to the gear. Of course, you're still going to run Train Gloves, and this is a BB, and, Train 3-piece, and that's pretty simple. Is Cat's Eye really that helpful? Faster Run Walk kind of falls off. The real reason I can run faster, and this is something you have to do for any Necromancer who wants to run around and not Blood Warp constantly, is you're going to need Vigor. And how I decided to get Vigor is actually through the Act 1 Physical Merc. Now, why? Well, for one, the Act 1 Physical Merc actually does insane damage, mainly due to her Magic Arrow. The gear she has on right now is a well-made Harmony and a Demon Crossbow, one of the highest bases, damage bases, for also a good, what's the word for it, IAS frame table. And then she's got the new Runeword chest thing that gives you burst of speed. And the reason for that is because if you run a lot, your mercs actually attack less. So by giving her Harmony and then that burst of speed on her, she actually runs faster and will attack more often, even if I run a lot too. And then, of course, I still warp enough to where she's just going to be in position. Now, the helmet is a Hal Tusk, but the other option would actually be a Face of Horror. Now, why? Well, because I'm still a Necromancer and I block and it sucks, and I do hit recovery and it sucks, and everything sucks as a Necromancer. So having that terror or the monsters fleeing is going to really help make this just feel more fun. And also it kind of shows that the Act 1 Physical Merc really is, it's the Magic Arrow that's doing all this damage. If you're wondering about the jewels I put in it, one of them was actually really good, but I just was looking for life after each kill jewels. But really her damage is pretty reasonable, I think, and I'm not trying to abuse anything. I mean, the belt, the boots, and I did use Laying of Hands for the gloves, and that's because it does proc Holy Bolt, and just the fact that I'll randomly get healed is kind of cool. So it all kind of goes together, and there you can see the Hal Tusk, and in my inventory is the Face of Horror, and I'll put that up. And yeah, that rune word was called Hustle. So I was pretty happy with this run, and it just goes to show you that Poison Nova is going to be really good. And hey, guess what? D-Web was buffed, guys. Skelly King out. GG.
Come and play with us, Daddy.